We're live, Lalji. Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids and Journey to Bliss. We have today Brother Lalji, who we're speaking about the I Am, and we're gonna start off here with the opening to the channel. Thank you, Lalji, for this morning.
You're very welcome.
Okay, hold on, let me find it. I believe this is it. But this is the I Am Words of Power. You can scroll down here. Here we go.
You can push that success.
Is your destiny.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let me get this banner off of here. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone, shout out. Let us know where you're from, what state, what city, what country. Cecile, welcome. Aaron, welcome. James, welcome. MZC, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday. Brother Lalji, what we got here today? Yes. What we're doing?
I thought, being that we're so deep in the concept of what we're going to do for the Black people, what we're going to do for ourselves, what is the answer to our predicament in this world, dealing with everything that they tell us we shouldn't believe in and everything that is actually happening to us. What can we do in the age of Sodom and Gomorrah, in the age of an obvious genocide of the Black man of the planet Earth? What can we do? What can we do to change the situation we find ourselves in? So although we were doing the I am presence, doing the I am discourses, we'll have to, not we'll have to, I wanted to experiment on just reading one chapter of my book called I Am the Candidate. And I Am the Candidate is dealing with, an individual who wants to take the position of a candidate to change
Lalji,
the world.
before you go into the show, from your chest, do your I am affirmation straight off your chest so that you magnetize and ionize your audience. Before you go into the subject matter, you do the opening.
Okay, great. Beloved mighty I am presence, great host of sitting and ascended masters, great angelic hosts, great cosmic beings who govern the system of worlds and the seven mighty Elohim. I evoke the grace of my beloved Guru, Swami Muktananda Paramahansa, my beloved Guru, Guru Mahachivalasananda, my beloved Guru, Bhagwan Nityananda, beloved Saint Germain, Lord Jesus Christ, and the great Sanat Kumar, all the citizens and ascended masters who have come here to benefit mankind and to raise us all up into the ascended state. I ask that you enter within all of us so that we may receive your grace and guidance, that your words find themselves on my tongue as we move toward our own ascensions and bringing and to help our fellow man to do likewise. I ask this in the name of Swami Muktananda Paramahansa, Bhagwan Nityananda, Guru Mahachivalasananda, the beloved Saint Germain, Lord Jesus Christ, and the great Sanat Kumar. And I thank you, Saguru Nath, Maharaj Ki Jai, Om Namah Shivaya. So, this book is dealing with the genocide of the black man on the planet Earth and what we do about it. So it's not only dealing with something that so many people don't even realize is going on, especially black people, and that's the saddest part of it, but what we can do about this genocide and how we go about doing what we're going to do. So this is the beginning of the story. This is a form of writing called faction. It's facts fictionalized. And so let us begin. I'm going to be reading, and you can't see it on the screen.
Okay.
Everybody in the Zoom, the other those in the class, it's in the Zoom link now. The to get onto the StreamYard. The StreamYard is in the Zoom link, and this is the prefix of the book right here.
Okay.
Someone is coming. Someone else wants to come in. Xavier. Okay. All right. Is there a way I can make this smaller, JD? Hold on 1 second.
You can make one smaller.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lalji, I just want to confirm this is the book that you wrote.
This is the book I wrote.
Okay.
And this is the first chapter of that book. I'm trying to get it to be small over here so I can get them on the sides instead of.
You just drag it over to the side.
Yeah, it's dragged.
Okay, now.
Now what? I just did that. Give me 1 second, Miss Bliss.
Okay. You're having technical difficulties?
No, I got it now. And just
Okay.
a tiny technical difficulty. Oh, come on, guy. Stay here, please.
Maybe you should have sent me the chapter so I could read it while you handle your technical difficulties.
So that was an option.
Okay. Jaden just said she did not know that was an option. Did you hear in the background?
That is an option. I can read Lalji and Jaden.
Okay. All right, Jaden, I need you to help me a little bit here. All right. It's okay. I got it now.
Maybe
you good?
I got it.
Okay.
Sagurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.
Welcome,
There's great
welcome,
concern.
everyone. Oh, go ahead, Lalji. Sorry, go ahead.
There's great concerns in the heaven. Genetic material is being destroyed on the planet Earth. A major catastrophe is occurring. The genocide of the black race is underway. Blacks have been targeted for complete annihilation by the sinister forces that have taken over the earth and all her nations. It is the end of the Kali Yuga, the age of wickedness, and the beginning of Aquarius, the age of brotherly love. The earth is in the process of being elevated into the fifth dimension. The sinister forces know that war and genocide, excuse me, let me turn up the volume. The sinister forces know that war and genocide can stop Earth's enlightenment. If they spill the blood of billions of people into her soil through genocide, war, oppressive governing, natural catastrophes, starvation, pestilence, plagues, chemtrails, pandemics, and vaccines, this will stop the global illumination, and it will not occur. The Mephistophelian plan has brought Earth to the attention of the galactic community. The ascended masters have called a meeting with the great cosmic beings. They decided to come together to stop this diabolical extermination of the black race, so Earth can fulfill her destiny of ascension into the fifth dimension, catapulting humanity into the golden age. The great divine director, Sanat Kumara, who governs this entire solar system, also answered the call. He is the Maha Great Kohan, and the guru of many of the ascended masters. Lord Jesus Christ and Saint Germain are two of his disciples. There are thousands of ascended beings from every solar system in the galaxy who have come to answer the call for help. The Earth has earned the reputation of being the most wicked planet in the entire universe. The worst criminal souls are sent here to the prison planet to expiate for their crimes and to learn love and light. Many thousands of years ago, it was foretold that during the constellation of Aquarius, the golden age would descend upon the earth. Sinister forces have turned the earth into a truly hellish planet. Wickedness is the way of the earth, and the advances in technology serve warfare and wholesale murder more than anything else. The sinister forces that control this planet have reduced humanity into a subhuman state. Most people on Earth are completely unaware of the ascended masses, the galactic community, or the seriousness of the situation. Such is the state of humanity. Homo sapiens sapien finally reduced to Homo moronic robotic. The people are programmed, educated, and brainwashed to be psychologically docile, intellectually stupid, and politically correct. They spew back anything they heard in the mass media with no regard for logic or critical thinking. Fortunately, for their sake, the universe is teeming with intelligent life, beings that are as far removed from humans in evolutionary development as humans are from an amoeba. They are meeting in Shambhala, the city of light. Coincidentally, there exists a most unlikely person whose presence is also required at this meeting. His name is Bhishma. His psychological makeup is uniquely suited for a dangerous mission. He is adventurous, fearless, blessed, and protected. At the age of 12, Bhishma had the profile of a public enemy. Growing up to be a gangster, he lived by two sets of laws, his own and God's, which to him were one and the same. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Look after the weak and those under your protection. Stay away from other people's women. Use absolute care in picking your friends. Let few people into your inner circle. Never violate your own rules. Pay all debts. There is something else, a special note about Bhishma. He has the extraordinary ability to do anything he thinks. The universe has chosen him as a servant to his people. At present, he lives in an ashram in India with his spiritual master. He is happy and contented, but everything is about to change.
Wow.
Chapter 1. Chapter 1.
Lalji, what's the title of the book?
I am the candidate.
Okay.
Remember I
Wow.
said that in the beginning?
I don't think I
I am
heard
the
you.
candidate.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of
I am the
the
candidate.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
This,
Wow.
now this is a picture. Here is a picture. I put some pictures in the chapters. This is a picture of one of the temples that was in the ashram where he lived. I put the pictures in for inspiration. That's Ganeshpriya ended right there. So now we start chapter 1. In the lush jungles of India, in a place called Ganeshpuri, there lived the powerful spiritual master, affectionately called Baba, which means father. He had a magnificent ashram where seekers of truth came from all over the world to obtain enlightenment. Divine experience was so abundant. Seekers from the Himalaya mountains journeyed there to experience the power of the Ganeshpuri ashram. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Meditation began at 3 a.m. and lasted until 5 a.m. At 5:30 a.m. began the sacred and powerful chant called the Guru Gita, or the Song of the Guru. Spiritual hymns continued throughout the day at regular intervals. It was a common event for Baba to hold saptas, which were non-stop chanting, sometimes lasting 24 hours or even as long as a week. Even more wonderful were the spontaneous bhajan songs that he initiated any time of the day. Everyone loved the chanting because it opened the heart and burned up negative thoughts, emotions, and karmas. In fact, there was so much singing that one would think they were in a Hollywood musical by Rajata and Hammerstein. Love and grace were the hallmarks of Baba and his ashram. He had the uncanny ability to make a person feel as if he or she was the most loved and most important person in the world. The ashram environment was so beautiful, so captivating and enchanting. The Supreme Lord of the universe was seen in the temple disguised as an ordinary mendicant, often accompanied by various guards who themselves traveled incognito as a cobbler, a carpenter, a farmer, a drummer, and various other people. The daily spiritual discipline was so scientifically thought out, administered, the daily spiritual discipline was so scientifically thought out and administered that enlightenment was guaranteed. There was meditation, chanting, mantra, service, seva, which is service, scriptural study, sacred rituals, and fire ceremonies called yagnas that blessed the whole world. The transcendental nature of the guru and the ashram were mystical in the extreme. To hear someone say it was unreal or it is unbelievable were common expressions. However, the ashram is a real place, and like all real places on earth, misfortunes come eventually. It was October 2nd, 1982, when a great tragedy befell all those who lived in this transcendental abode. Baba, their beloved spiritual master, took Mahasamadhi, which means the great sleep. Some disciples took the death of their guru harder than others. Bhishma was one of them. Bhishma had lived with Baba for 6 joyful years. To him, the guru was the grace-bestowing power of God. He had helped him transform from a cold-hearted gangster into a seeker of truth, then initiated him into the most powerful spiritual lineage on the face of the earth. The master had given him many powerful experiences, one after another. He even had him experience himself. He even gave him the experience, the God conscious. He even had him experience himself in the God conscious state for a period of hours. For that, Bhishma was extremely grateful and pledged his undying devotion. Happy were the days with his beloved spiritual master. He had searched for his preceptor all his life. Now the beloved stage had passed into the afterlife. He walked aimlessly around the field called Dakshin Kashi. In the distance, one could see his 6-foot slim, muscular frame walking around the field. It was approximately a mile around, especially created for ashramites, disciples of the ashram, to take walks to reflect on their day's activity or to contemplate the inner self. It had been 3 days since their guru had passed away. Bhishma thought, where is my guru now? I can't go see him in the courtyard anymore or see him walking around the ashram. I will never hear his voice again except in a dream. Where is my Baba now? Surely he is in Siddhaloka, world of godlike beings. Until I become a fully realized Siddha, a perfect God-conscious being, I can't go there. Walking around in deep contemplation, he held his head down. Who will love me now? What will I do? My great teacher has passed. Why couldn't Baba live just a little longer? I was a good disciple, at least sometimes. Who will serve him now? Who will take care of him? Perhaps I did not show enough love through my service. Had I served him better, he might have stayed just a little longer. Oh my God, I am completely undone, he whispered with tears in his eyes. He walked around the field mile after mile. Perhaps I'll sing to Sri Guru Dev, beloved Guru. He will hear me and maybe speak to me. He thought, Baba was always fond of giving his disciples supernatural experiences. I will sing the song I made up for him, Sri Guru Dev. Bhishma made up lyrics of his own, using a melody of a popular song from his childhood called Foolish Little Girl by a group called the Shirelles. He sang aloud, Sri Guru Dev, Sri Guru Dev, Sri Muktananda Guru, Guru of the way. You're the one I love. It's you I'm thinking of. Swami Muktananda Guru, Guru Dev, Sri Guru Deva, Sri Muktananda Guru Dev, Sri Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Sri Muktananda Guru, Guru Dev. I just love you, Sri Muktananda Guru Dev, Jagat Guru of the way. Sri Guru Dev, Sri Guru Deva, Sri Guru Dev, Sri Guru Deva, Sri Guru Dev, Sri Guru Deva, Sri Guru Dev, Sri Guru Dev. He repeated these lyrics, singing with deep devotion for hours. After a while, his heart grew heavy. An ache developed on the left side of his chest. It was increasingly more troublesome. It was 11 p.m. on a full moon night. All of a sudden, a sharp pain struck him on the left side of his chest like a lightning bolt. It caused him to stumble forward and fall to the ground, face first. Bhishma rolled over on his back and rubbed his chest extremely hard, trying to get the pain out. What was that? He asked himself. He got up and felt noticeably lighter. It was strange in a pleasant sort of way. He continued on the path and felt like he was walking on air. The pain in his chest was no more. When he turned around to see if he had dropped anything, he saw a body laying on the ground. It looked like an ashramite. I know that man, he thought. Is he hurt? Bhishma rushed over to assist him. Kneeling on one knee, he put his hand below the man's head to turn him over to see his face more clearly. However, his hand passed right through the head. That's strange, he thought. Then a black tunnel appeared and crept toward him. Bhishma looked at the tunnel and in a matter of seconds found himself engulfed within it. What strange phenomena is this? Moving through the tunnel, Bhishma heard beautiful melodies and saw a brilliant white light at the end of it. What's happening to me? Was that my body laying on the ground? I couldn't get a good look at the face, but why did my hand go right through it? Could I have died? The light at the end of the tunnel grew brighter and brighter. The heavenly melodies filled him with peace and arrest all apprehension. If I die, I will definitely see my Baba now. I hope he won't be disappointed with me. I didn't mean to die. I know I didn't reach perfection yet, but maybe I can do my spiritual practices on the inner planes. That light is getting brighter and brighter. These melodies are so beautiful. Is that light a person? Could it be my Baba? Well, I'll soon see. Bhishma walked toward the light. After a few minutes, the tunnel disappeared, and he found himself standing in a beautiful realm. To his delight, the brilliant light was a being. It was shimmering and radiant, standing 6 feet tall with an olive complexion and large eyes. His appearance was like that of a god. He said, "Welcome, Bhishma," and he smiled at him. The being walked and beckoned him to follow. It was obvious to him that they were in paradise. He felt love emanating from this holy being. It was like the love of his own spiritual master. The being said, "Your presence is required at a special meeting that is about to begin." "Am I dead?" Bhishma asked. "No, you are immortal, but your body has just had a fatal heart attack and now lays lifeless on the field of Dashinkashi in Ganeshpuri, India. So I have passed into the next realm. Then I am in the afterlife." "Yes." Bhishma smiled, giving no thought to his death. He eagerly asked, "When will I see my Baba?" His earth life was an insignificant experience, especially compared to being with his guru again. "We are all Baba here," the being of light answered. Bhishma looked at him quizzically. "Does that mean I won't see him?" "I must see my master. Kind sir, please direct me to him." The scriptures say, at the moment of death, the guru comes to the disciple. Pondering his dilemma and studying the being of light, Bhishma tried to convince him to take him to his guru. "Did you know that my guru went around the world and initiated millions of people into the Navsiddha lineage, the most powerful spiritual lineage in the world? Never before in the history of earth was that done. He took me from a lowly position of a gangster and placed me in his holy ashram. He treated me like I was his only son. He taught me divine knowledge and raised me up from a demon to the level of a seeker of truth." Bhishma picked up a grain of dirt, showed it to the being, and said, "My master was so magnanimous. If you asked him for a speck of dust, he would give you a planet. I told him I only wanted to be with and serve him. He replied, 'Then you will transform yourself into God in the process.'" The being watched him. The being watched him pace back and forth, pleading his case like a lawyer in a courtroom. Bhishma continued, "Tell me, who would not rejoice to have a master like this? He gave me an experience of myself as God. That experience haunted me even in the afterlife. I must achieve the final attainment so I may be reunited with my God self. Considering the love, knowledge, and divine experience I received through his grace, surely you understand my position." The being did not respond. Bhishma looked at him intently and felt his pleas felt on deaf ears. He quickly concluded that the being of light would not or could not lead him to his guru. I mean no disrespect, but I'm sorry, holy sir. I will leave you now. I must find my spiritual master." Without another word, Bhishma picked up a path and began walking, not knowing where he was going. However, he hoped the path would lead him to his guru. He thought, "Whomever I see on the road, I will ask him where my master is." He walked up the road and he saw another path and decided to take it. At the end of that path was a fork. He chose to travel the road to the right. The being of light was there, leaning against a willow tree. The landscape was so beautiful. All the roads were perfectly constructed. The grass was cut. The flower gardens were placed here and there as if it was someone's job to keep the forest perfectly manicured. Confused, he kept walking. Yet everywhere he turned, the being of light was there, standing patiently on the side of the road, waiting for Bhishma to realize that he had to go with him. He thought, "Wherever I go, the being of light is there. I'll ask for his help once again. Holy sir, I must find my spiritual master. I know he loves his master very much. I am sure we can find him with his own guru." Bhagawan Nityananda, shaking his head up and down as if to affirm his newfound revelation, he said, If we go to Bhagwan, we will find him there. I'm sure of it. Your master has asked me to take you to this meeting. It is especially important, and you must attend. It is his wish that you be there. Baba told me to take you. Baba told me to take Baba. Baba told you to take me there. His attention suddenly focused on the being of light, giving reference to his master. Yes, he asked me to take you there in person. Bhishma contemplated the situation. I must obey the guru. Then it occurred to him to ask, when the meeting is over, will I see him then? Baba did not tell me when he would meet with you. Bhishma thought, what does all this mean? Of course I'll go to this meeting if it is Baba's wish, but it seems he is avoiding giving me any information about my guru. I will ask him again. In all humility, he asked, Holy Sir, what must I do for you to give me some information on the whereabouts of my Guru Dev? The being of light admired Bhishma's determination to be with his guru. He smiled at him and said, Baba told me it was not going to be easy to get you to this meeting, that your will and resolve are unshakable, and you are a wild thing and very difficult to control. Baba said that? Bhishma asked, swallowing hard, knowing that the being of light must have met with his guru. He thought, I don't want to appear stubborn, but it seems my reputation has preceded me to this realm. The being replied, yes, Baba said that. Bhishma looked and studied him. The being wore foreign attire as if he were from a royal family from ancient times. His clothing was immaculately tailored. It was golden orange in color with gold trim, 2 inches thick around the shoulder and the bottom of the shirt and the sleeves. His pants were off-white, also loosely fitting, with a braided type of piping that went down the side of the pant leg. His hair was auburn and shoulder length, with a golden band around it, sort of like a crown. Bhishma wore his humble attire from the ashram, a simple white shirt and pants. Putting his arms around Bhishma's shoulder, Bhishma noticed he wore a 24-karat gold ring in the shape of the winged globe that hung above the temple in the ancient Egypt. Walking in the direction of the meeting, the being said, would you like to hear some stories about your spiritual teacher while we walk to the meeting? Bhishma did not want to appear unruly, but his mind was fixed on his guru. I would like that very much. Perhaps then you will tell me where my guru is. The being laughed and said, you are just like Baba said you would be. My name is Sananda. Baba told me all about you, Bhishma. Come, I will tell you stories very few people know about the great sage. Did you know that he was arrested during World War II? No, I had no idea, Bhishma replied. Yes, he was a war hero in India and spent 27 months in jail for crimes against the British government. As they walked down the road, Sananda told Bhishma of his meeting with his guru. They walked and talked for a while. In this way, Bhishma's mind was temporarily distracted while they journeyed to the meeting at the Temple of Light in Shambhala. When the being of light first met Bhishma, they were at the outskirts of the realm of the main Shambhala ashram. While walking, they passed beautiful rolling hills with lush green foliage and fruit trees of all types and varieties. Many were strange varieties not seen on the surface. Most of the trees bore fruit or flowers. One tree bore a whitish fruit with white flowers and had an extremely pungent aroma. Bhishma asked, Master Sananda, what type of tree is that? It is called mock scallop. It's used in various types of dishes at our banquets. It tastes and has a texture exactly like that of scallops, a shellfish on earth. It is very delicious, with the added value that it is vegetarian, of course. Wow. Now that is interesting. There were beautiful lakes, baby blue in color, where some could see the fish all the way at the bottom, it seemed. There were running rivers of emerald green and ponds with lotuses in them. The beauty of Shambhala defied the imagination. Master Sananda, are we in heaven? Bhishma asks with awe and reverence. Some would call this heaven in the same way as you would call Ganeshpuri heaven. But in Shambhala, but we are in Shambhala, my brother, the inner earth city of light. This is the home of gods and ascended master, and the home of ancient civilizations of Earth's past. Shambhala is a magical place where only advanced beings of divine love and light can live. Ganeshpuri is also a holy and pure place on earth. It takes a great deal of merit to be destined to go there and perform service, chant, meditate, or repeat the mantra behind the walls of that holy retreat. In the near future, even Ganeshpuri will be closed. Only advanced spiritual seekers will be able to go there. My God, Bhishma thought. I always thought Ganeshpuri was a great place, but I had no idea it was that significant. Master, how does one become an advanced spiritual seeker on the path? What do you mean? You have been trained by the master. Surely you know. Bhishma replied, what I mean is, I have noticed that some people have greater spiritual abilities than others. What does a person have to do to be able to be a spiritual genius or spiritually advanced? The short answer is whatever spiritual attainment you achieve in your last birth, you carry into your next birth. Some beings are trained on the inner realm after they leave their bodies. They carry that development into their next birth. Furthermore, there is no loss or diminution in spiritual merits. Whatever spiritual progress you make, you keep. And there is a point where a disciple on a path makes a quantum leap in his/her spiritual progress. After that point, spiritual perfection is guaranteed. At what point is that, Master? For you, it happened when you met Baba. You made a quantum leap then. How? I
Lalji,
struggled all the while.
Lalji, I
Yes,
have a question. So
yes.
I just want to make sure. So what you're saying is that this young fella, when he passed away, he made a spiritual leap into the quantum realm?
No, he made a spiritual leap when he first met the Guru and he initiated him into the Nastita lineage, which is the most powerful lineage in the world. He made a
Oh,
spiritual
that
leap
is when
then.
he made this. Okay. And
And
so
then he
when
did
he
many spiritual
died,
practices. Say that again.
okay. So that's when he met the guru, that's when he made the spiritual leap.
When the Guru initiated him into the Nath spiritual lineage is when he made the spiritual leap. And when he made a
Oh,
quantum leap, the big difference. All right.
okay.
So he
Okay.
says,
And
see, many times spiritual progress is made by you without your knowledge. You understand? Things are going on inside of you, but you're still in the state thinking, oh, well, I'm okay. Next thing you know, your chakras are being pierced and
right.
things of this nature. So let me continue.
Okay.
And if you have any question, just ask. Just stop me, Lalji. Right? Okay.
Brother
All right.
Elijah, I got a question before you restart. What was the name of the lineage you said it was? Like
The Nath, Nath, spiritual lineage. Like you hear me say all the time, Sadguru Nath Maharaj Ki Jai.
okay.
What that means is I bow. Sadguru means the true teacher. Guru Nath, the lineage of which he's come from. This way you know he's the true teacher. Maha means great. Raj, king. Ki Jai, hail to the great king, the Guru.
Raji, you got another 20 minutes because you're doing it for an hour. The following hour, focus on the I am words of power.
Okay.
Okay.
How I struggled all the while in the ashram. Anyway, how he's speaking to it. For you, that happened when you made a quantum leap when your guru initiated you. How I struggled all the while in the ashram, and I have attained little spiritually. Once you receive Shaktipat Diksha in the non-spiritual lineage, that was a quantum leap. Furthermore, you have made considerable progress since then. Much of what the aspirant achieves as a disciple is hidden from him, but great progress is made even after the repetition of one mantra. Imagine what effect there is after millions of repetitions. You have repeated many millions of mantras. Baba told us he instructed you to study God. Do you remember that, Bhishma? Yes, I remember I love to study. Your research, in your research, what have you discovered in relationship to someone having great spiritual abilities? I was interested in this subject for a long time. I have come across some insightful information. It seems that a great deal of why a person develops spiritual genius has to do with their parents. For example, let's take Baba. His mother wanted to have the children and was unable to. Then along came a sitter who gave her a mantra. She repeated it thousands of times, maybe millions of times, and conceived the perfect sitter master. It seemed to me that if the parents are highly evolved spiritually, the child will be a being of light and thereby empowered. The being marveled at the joy with which Bhishma taught. It appeared he had a natural inclination to teach. I guess I should have asked, how can I get parents who are spiritual geniuses so I can become a spiritual genius? I have made the transition beyond the veil now. It seems to me that if I can get the right parents, the greatest part of the spiritual battle will be won. So are you saying if your mother repeats the mantra, you will become God-conscious being? Forgive me, Master. I have been speaking as if I have a great deal of knowledge. I really don't know. I only know that is what I read. I was hoping you could verify it for me. Well, Bhishma, your research is remarkably interesting. Much of what you have discovered is true, but there is a lot more to it. One thing any seeker after truth can do if he does not attain spiritual perfection in this present birth is to ask God to be born in a family of great light. Tremendous progress can be made if you are born into a family of light. These families are initiated into powerful spiritual lineages and practice spiritual techniques as well as develop the godlike personality. I'll be finished. This will be finished in less than 20 minutes, Hank. Master, godlike personality? Bhishma asked, confused. I mean a person who has complete control over his emotions and passions, one who can maintain harmony at all times and express love. I will say this about your research, my son. If you continue in that direction, you will have great results. Tell me something, Bhishma. When you get this information, this knowledge of race regeneration, what will be done with it? Well, I wanted this knowledge for myself, so my lineage would be empowered. If I were in the physical body, I could use this knowledge to empower my children and grandchildren, or even teach other people. But that is not possible now. The being of light watched as Bhishma explained everything with great enthusiasm. He realized Baba's choice for him was a wise one. He looked at Bhishma, smiled, and said, Bhishma, I welcome you to our community. I pray you get a chance to serve with us. Thank you, Master. I feel welcomed already. So, is my Baba here? The being of light laughed. The two of them had been traveling from the moment they met at the tunnel and had walked approximately 3 miles. They turned around a bend in the road, and lo and behold, they had spied the Temple of Light. They walked up to the temple. Bhishma was in awe of the magnificent edifice. As they stood there, a great sitter walked by him. His name was Yogananda, and he walked right past Bhishma. I could swear that was the great Guru Yogananda. Was that him? Bhishma asked, whispering so as not to be conspicuous. Yes, that was him. Most of the people here are siddhas and other beings of great light. So, are you telling me that I'm going into a meeting where there is nothing but beings who are on par with God? The being laughed. You have a way of putting things, Bhishma. But to answer your question, no. As you know, siddhas are God-conscious beings, God-conscious human beings. Not all beings here are fully God-conscious. Some of the beings are disciples of siddhas, like you. Although the majority of people are siddhas, everyone here has come to help. This is the main part of the ashram. It is called the Temple of Light. The temple was exquisite. It was constructed of pure white marble. It consisted of 3 large buildings in one. The main building was the largest in the center of the other 2 attached buildings. It appeared to Bhishma as a great palace. It was 11 stories high, 320 feet tall. It looked like it would have taken up a large city block. Each floor was 24 feet from the floor to the ceiling. The top floor was 50 feet tall and was designed in a huge dome shape that resembled the United States Capitol. There was 144 steps leading to the building that ascended in gradual increments and stretched for another city block. If this building were on the surface of the planet, it would have been the 9th wonder of the world. The beings of light said, Bhishma, this is a very important meeting. You must pay close attention to all that transpires. Just then, 2 beings walked into the temple of light. They were not Homo sapiens sapiens, but they were high spiritual beings from other worlds. Bhishma replied, I understand. However, he could not take his eyes off the beings who had passed him. The guide said, the one with the unearthly beauty is a Gandhava. The other with the head of a horse and body of a human is a Kinara. Are they also Siddha Masters? Bhishma asked. Yes, they are both Siddha Masters. Baba told us there were Siddha Masters on other worlds, but this is the first time I ever saw any that were not Homo sapiens sapiens. Master, can you tell me what this meeting is about? I cannot tell you now, Master Sananda replied. I will take you into the courtyard where the meeting is already being held. You can hear for yourself. I will leave you there and we will meet later. What I want to tell you is a great opportunity awaits you. Sometimes the most unlikely person can do great things if his will is aligned with the will of God. Bhishma, do not quit. Bhishma did not quite understand the cryptic message the being of light was trying to convey, but he nodded his head anyway. Lord Sananda walked him into the courtyard. Bhishma marveled at his surrounding as he was escorted to his seat. The meeting was held in the back of the temple, where there was a huge courtyard that was constructed of pink marble and pink crystal pillars. The courtyard seating area about 550 feet wide and 1,500 feet long. The floor was inlaid with 2 by 2 feet marble tiles. Crystal pillar columns, which stood 30 feet high, resembled the open ceiling temples of ancient Egypt or Greece and surrounded the seated area. The courtyard was used for daily spiritual practices. There were 8 beautiful pools, 3 pools on both sides and 2 of the courtyard, and 1 pool at the end. All of the pools had life-size statues around them of great saints who had helped humanity. There were fountains in every pool. It was truly magnificent sight. It was in this environment that the holy assembled of over 2,000 beings gathered to meet. In addition to the beings already mentioned, there were other illustrious beings in this holy assembly. Lord Zadikil from the Violet Planet came to be part of the great adventure. His world emanated a violet ray, which healed and transmuted negative energy into positive energy. Millions of years ago, during the previous golden age, on the continent of Atlantis and Lemuria, Lord Zadikil externalized a giant focus of this violet-consuming flame. It could be seen for thousands of miles in all directions. His intention was to come back to Earth and unleash this same violet flame over the 3 Americas. He was also there. This great glorifying flame would help usher in the age of Aquarius, the 7th golden age. There was Lord Arcturus from the planet Arcturus. He assisted in bringing in the violet ray of transportation with Lord Zadikil and Saint Germain. There was Lord Maitreya, who was from the planet Helios, our sun. He is the sun god and the new planetary messiah for this dispensation, the age of Aquarius. The great Sanat Kumara from the planet Venus came to be of help. Long ago, he had been here on Earth for millions of years and is one of the guardians of the planet. Arcturus, Cassiopeia, Cyclopia, Peace, Purity, Orion, and Hercules are the 7 mighty Elohim. They have the power of precipitation and the ability to create worlds and phenomena. The 7 archangels joined the effort. There was They were responsible for the entire solar system. They could be seen seated up front in a group on the left side of a throne where no one sat. Lord Sananda escorted Bhishma to a Persian rug that was 3.5 by 4 feet in dimension, situated in the middle of the assembly. I will leave you now, Master Sananda said. I must take my seat up front. I will meet with you after the meeting. Yes, Master. After the meeting, Bhishma muttered, looking around at all the different great beings gathered there. The courtyard was half full. Bhishma sat in the middle of this holy concourse. He was amazed at the variety of beings assembled. He was more amazed that there were disembodied souls as well as those in their physical bodies. They were highly evolved spirits who had astral projected there, who were alive on earth. There were others who had cosmic projected there from other worlds. Bhishma was in a state of wonderment at the course of events that had taken place and the circumstances in which he found himself. The meeting was already in progress. There was a man speaking. Just before he sat down, Bhishma heard him say, "If this is not done, the genocide of the black race will be complete." The comment caught Bhishma's attention. What is this meeting about? And why are we here? He asked himself. As this thought crystallized in his mind, he saw another man arise. He was disembodied. It was someone who Bhishma recognized. He wondered, is that who I think it is? To his amazement, it was. It was Malcolm X. He was surprised to see the famous African-American, El-Hajj Malik Shabazz. He muttered to himself, my, the beloved leader was dressed in a white robe, mirroring the picture Bhishma remembered seeing him when Malcolm X had gone to Egypt. To see Malcolm and hear him speak gave Bhishma the idea that this meeting was far deeper than he had imagined. He listened with a sense of pride. Malcolm began, what I will present to the council is the Mayafa. I will not speak about a 400-year-long genocide and enslavement of African men, women, and children as a slave trade. To my thinking, it is inconceivable to equate trade with one of the greatest mass genocides in known human history. To rename a crime as if the renaming of the wicked deed diminishes its effect adds insult to injury. This is a tactic used over and over again by the Europeans to obscure the truth of his villainy. We should never forget there was 350 million Africans murdered in the Mayafa. We need not pursue this point any further. We are here to discuss the genocide of the black man of the planet Earth and what we can do to stop it. I will present my case and ask for guidance and direction from the Ascended Brotherhood of Light. Bhishma thought, is this what we are here? Is this why we are here? The beings of light are addressing what no one on the surface is willing to acknowledge. My God, this is going to be deep. The end of chapter 1. Chapter 2. We're not gonna read this. We're just going to we're gonna stop right here. So
wow, Lalji, when is the book already published and copywritten, or are you still writing it?
No, it's copywritten. It is, everything is done. It's going to the press right now. I'm just waiting for a little bit more money because I did everything. All I want them to do is print up the book. So that's where we're at now. Find something that exists in the whole physical planet. Could you get me volume 3 of the Iron Presence? Yeah, so I wanted to.
And then the book will be available for everyone to purchase.
Yeah, it'll be available for everyone to purchase. I'll talk about the book after we meet. But with Hank about the book after we meet. I wanted to address something. Thank you, and which is something that we all are wondering. What's going to happen to us? Are we going to be subject to this genocide? Are we going to do something about it? Are we going to wait around like Buffalo did when the sinister forces would kill off all of the buffalo to exterminate the food that we would be eating while we were here in America. Because with buffalo, as long as you kill all the buffalo on the outside, you can shrink that whole herd to one buffalo that would be in the middle. As long as you don't shoot the buffaloes in the middle, if you shoot on the outside of that herd, you can kill every single one of them. This is what we're experiencing now. We're in the state of mind that or the state of being that they're killing us slowly and we're not even aware of it. You know, the buffalo on the outside, right, or the buffalo in the middle of the herd doesn't see the buffalo on the outside. It's like that with us. We don't see what they're doing to us. We only hear what they want us to hear on the news, right? We killed a cop over here, this, that, and the other, and much of the propaganda. But I wanted to introduce this concept to our brothers and sisters of all races. So
hold on, Lalji. You just can't leave it like that.
I'm sorry.
So, when are you going to do a shroom meditation so that you can ask the Mycelium Network the very questions that you just asked?
The Mycelium Network
meditation. When are you going to do your own ayahuasca dive so that you can bring the message from your vision quest? Because our ancestors would do vision quests, especially the elders, when you have questions of this magnitude. You just can't say, oh yeah, we're going to get wiped out like the buffalo. Yo, as an elder, it's your duty to do an entheogenic journey and come back and give us the message that the medicine from the plant kingdom relayed to you. So the next time we're on this show and you bring up the subject, it's your karmic responsibility to say, family, this is the message from the plant kingdom.
Wait a minute. I just want to ask you, Lalji, in your book, the young man, he had to die in order to get to the spirits and communicate with them. But I think what Rise's son is saying is that if you take the entheogens, we can get there via the entheogens.
Really?
What I'm saying from personal experience, whenever you have a question of your outer awareness, which is only 3 to 5%, and you need greater insight into the future or into something specific, whether it's relationships, your mind is not able to access pure information. And that's where sacred plants come in. And in the ancient tradition of our sun people, that falls often on the elders. The elders were the plant gatekeepers so that they offer remedies. So as a fellow elder, Lalji got to go on the vision quest and come back with the message.
Let me ask the question, as you so enthusiastically journeyed on what you're just saying, what makes you think that wasn't done long before the book has been written?
No. I'm not talking about the book.
Let me finish.
I'm talking about the audience that's listening. You got to leave them with a remedy.
The book is the remedy as far as this goes, but chapter after chapter, that remedy unfolds. I'm not hearing. Say it again, Hank.
Read the comments. You're leaving your audience behind.
Oh, I can't see the comments. I can't see the comments, Hank.
Hold on, I put one up for you. We need to retreat. We also need to travel to meet one another. Someone said it was a great question. Community. Yes, Hank. Powerful. Some of the people are embracing the idea of taking the entheogens or having our own community. But I guess what you're saying, Lalji, is that as you go further into the book, you communicate more about that on that level.
Yes.
Or what's the next step, I guess?
The first step is to finding out the predicament that you're in. First, you realize there is a genocide going on.
Okay.
And then you figure to yourself, well, how can we change that? What do we do to change that? If you let's take, for example, someone who had this question put before them that we know of in relative, modern history, the Jews, right? They said, look, this dude is killing us. What can we do to develop ourselves? What can we do? Because the world has been hating us for millennia. What can we do to pull ourselves out of the situation that we're in? The Japanese got to pull themselves up from World War II. I mean, there's just been many, many, many races. The book of the Club of Rome would be a good place to find out where genocide is going on. But as you just do the research, you can look at, well, these people pull themselves up like that, and these people pull themselves up like that, and these people pull themselves up like that. What we got to realize is, how are we going to pull ourselves up? And the book goes into all of that. Now, as far as the theogens and all like that, the theogens are not the path within themselves. I've never heard anyone attaining full realization or ascension through theogens. The theogens are to give you motivation, inspiration, and to give you insight into these divine things that you're going to experience as you move on in the spiritual path. But of course, you let them go to just go on your own energy and your own light and your own liquid inside your bodies to attain full realization. It is not the wherein withal of human existence. It is a great thing that opens you up to your own inner self.
Now, just to be clear, Lalji, I did not say entheogens will give you enlightenment, because that's going to be a show dealing with that next week. What I'm asking you as an elder, you have children, soulfully speaking, you have children in the audience, and you read a chapter, and then which was good, then you summarized the chapter and saying we're doomed. You can't leave an audience and say, oh, well, when we get to chapter 13 of my book, I'll give you the remedy on this holiday Sunday. That's why I said you only get an hour to read your book, but you have to leave hope and a message of wisdom and tactical information so that you will let people be inspired to embrace their I am in the same way the ascended masters teach. So what's great that your book is bringing up these points. However, you, my brother, have to come back from the dark shadows of your message and give people the inspiration and the light and the vision of what to do today to empower themselves. And that's the purpose of I am words of power. We all can hear that all through the news that we all fucked. We can hear that all day. But you can't leave the audience feeling destitute without hope, saying, I'm waiting on Lalji with chapter 13. Now, what's the message of hope and resolution and remedy that people can practice today?
Well, if I wasn't given just 20 minutes, I could have maybe read a little bit more, and you would have got it, not in chapter 13, but chapter 2. Anyway, either way, what the
you can give us the first step, Lalji. Maybe just the first step.
The whole step if you want it. I was just reading this because I didn't feel I was doing good reading Saint Germain, and I didn't have people in the back helping me. And so, but now I got part of the class up here. We can read, but let's get into that. All right, let's the whole audience and everyone on the screen, Sister Corinne, Patrick, Brother Xavier, Miss Bliss. Let's get into that. What would anybody do if you know your people are about to be killed, that your people are in the process of being killed? I mean, it is super duper slick the way they're doing it
But
too.
we already know that. We're talking about now. We
You
already
need to
covered that.
let me
Give him the
finish what I'm
remedy.
saying and stop interrupting me as I move on answering your question. All right, now, bust it. We know that what we're doing here, this whole platform of what we're doing here is teaching meditation. See, we just did that. Before we came on to this program, we did prayer, we did decrees, we did chanting, prayer for 10 minutes, decrees for 20 minutes, chanting for an hour, and meditation. Our meditation was a little short today, but it's usually 45 minutes. This is what you do if you want to change the situation. First, you change yourself. You change yourself on the 4 legs of life: your spiritual life, your physical life, which is diet and exercise, your financial life, which is your GAPA, money, guilders, cash, everybody, and then your life with family and friends. These are the 4 legs of life. This is the table that we stand on. And if any one of those legs are weak or broken or non-existent, that table is going to fall as soon as something happens that is a little pressure put in that part of your life. But what do you do to uplift yourself? You start developing yourself as a man and a woman. Who was the best man? Who was the best woman? In my mind, I like thinking about that. See, there was this guy who came here over 1 million years ago, and it was God. And his name was Ram. And they wrote a whole scripture. Matter of fact, there's like 4 scriptures written about this guy alone. He was dark brown in complexion. His hair was so curly it ridiculed Persian lamb. Look something, if anybody's on the screen can see Patrick, look something like that, okay? And he came down here as a perfect being, God on earth, millions of years ago, right? So I like the way he lived. I like that as an example. That's mine. That's what I'm going for, to be like him, to be like God. Now, any and everybody who is listening to this program right now, or you may have that person in your mind, man or woman, that's your goal. That's who you should become like. That's who you should be like. That's who you should develop yourself like. Hopefully that person is God. All right. What else do you do outside of the meditation, the chanting, the decrees, and the prayers? Study scriptures. All right. One of the biggest things you could do is get your wealth. Because if you have wealth, and you have wealth, right? You just got to discover where it's at and how to get it, or just make some more. Once you get that, you can do exactly what the Jews did. And what is that? Take your money to build your people. Sequester yourself from others so no one interfere with the development of this people. Sequester yourself. Buy a tract of land. Start building a community. Sort of like Harlem was in a way, but without the sinister forces controlling it and bringing in Gestapo agents that we call police to murder us at will with absolute and complete impunity, right? Even in your community that you're building, there should be that gangster element. So then when police can come murdering men, women, and children, they have to answer to that element also, so that they don't think that they could do to us what they've been doing with absolute and complete impunity, even after the judge lets them off, right? There are a number of things that we could do. Number 1, make ourselves divine. Number 2, start creating divine families. Number 3, start creating divine communities that are sequestered. Everybody can't come into these communities. Start building these children so every one of them, when they graduate, is sort of like the skull and bone. Instead of you give them a worthless piece of paper that you're calling a degree, you give them their degree, but it should have $1 million attached to it in cash so that they go off into life. See, we got the knowledge to do all of this. It's now a matter of doing it, putting it into action. At the same time, we had Booker T. Washington, we had Marcus Garvey, we had Malcolm X, we got not Malcolm X, we had the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we had Marcus Garvey. All of these were high-powered leaders who were working with the society that we're living in right now. But because they were black, they went after them. They tore down every single solitary thing that they did. We have to be doing what we're doing in
those were
secret.
singular leaders. Those were those were one individual that led a whole group or a whole crowd. So what you're saying is, I'm not sure if I'm confirming this. You're talking about we need more than one person leading us, because what happened in those examples that you just presented, it was one individual leading thousands and thousands of people. And as soon as that one person no longer existed, what happened to those communities that they built? So what are you saying, Lalji, that we need another guru to follow? I just want to make it clear. What are you saying?
I'm saying we need thousands of Christ-like men to come to earth. And the only way they're going to come to earth is if we individually bring them here.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Now,
so if you want to change everything, then you need to be men that are basically invincible, and then bring in the love and the light.
listen to this.
That's what you do. Anything else is going to be temporary.
What you are speaking of, you make it sound like the black race is a victim. And
no, I'm not.
No, hold it. Don't interrupt me. You're making it sound. I'm telling you what you sound like over here. You're like, oh, why is everybody always picking on me? When you read the book from 1765 called Hermeneutic Interpretations of the Social Status of the Adamic Race, written in France by Fabre d'Olivier, he described in the first few chapters that the black race was masters of the universe. At means master, lant means universe. This book was translated into English in 1910. You can find it online, Hermeneutic Interpretations of the Social Status of the Adamic Race. Now, when you look at Edgar Cayce, the fall of Atlantis was foreseen, and Atlantis was, for lack of better words, the home base of the black and the brown race. And the headstones you see in Central America, Olmec heads they call it, those were Atlantean headpieces. So it showed you what Atlanteans look like, and the pyramids of the sun and the moon, those were put there by the Atlantean race that had did exodus from Atlantis prior to the sinking and after the sinking. And they didn't take rowboats. They did anti-gravity ships. So in the research, you'll find that we are not innocent. Europeans, according to Fabre d'Olivier in the book, Hermeneutic Interpretations, we had slaves. We made slaves of the Europeans for hundreds of years throughout Europe. The men mined the for precious stones and metals, and the women were our comforters. All right, we had all of this. We did all this technology. We became arrogant, and that was the fall of the black race, or what you would call the Atlanteans. Now they remember being underneath our heels. Every race on the planet remembers being our subservience for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years, because in our glory, we became arrogant, so arrogant that the crystal technology was cranked up
1 second.
to the point that it was the undoing of the foundation of Atlantis. It melted the foundation of Atlantis and it sunk. And when that sinking of Atlantis happened, all the technology that they could acquire from the Atlanteans was transferred to Europeans, and the Europeans went on a global mission to say, don't you ever let these folks wake up ever again. Let them forget that they forgot. Let them forget that they forgot. It was the Europeans that migrated to India that created the caste system based on color, because they were the slaves set free from the Atlanteans. Now, the reason I brought up the subject of entheogens is if you cultivate taking the herbs, you will get this download also. You could get this download from ayahuasca. You can get this download from shrooms. It's that simple. Now it's a frequency where the karma is being balanced, and that's the reason that you have masters of the universe returning in the form of Christs like Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, like Simeon Toko, the latest Christ born in the Congo. That's the reason. And they said there's more coming. But prior, we had karmic debts because we had created dominion over all the universe. So, family, it's 11:50, and the focus of this show, the focus is to become acoustical masters of your I am, so that you will be like what Muhammad Ali said, I am the greatest. Muhammad Ali said he said that until he believed himself. I am omnipotent. I am remembering what I am born to do. That is the purpose of this platform, for you to crystallize in this time of Kundalini activation to become demigods of your I am, not to bitch and give energy to acoustical staccato imperfections of your personality, but to crystallize with 100% clarity the purpose of your existence, of hitting lotto in this physical incarnation, to become a master of acoustics of your I am magnificence. You, my brothers and sisters, you, my sisters, you are the acoustical magicians. And that's why they call it I am magic presence, because through your heart and your tongue, you can change the tides of creation. That is the message every Sunday, to align with your divine, to network with ascended masters such as Simeon Toko, Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, Sheikh Ibra Fall, to develop a personal relationship with the ascended masters that Lalji was speaking of in his book. However, in the spirit of Ubuntu, as elders, we have to be mindful of the children and the fragility of our younger souls, to always, on this Sunday, leave a message of clear vision, hope, inspiration after walking through the darkness by speaking of our unresolved trauma and issues. You know that success is your destiny. And that's the purpose of the Sunday program. And we flex it on Tuesdays in the Healing Circle. Yeah, we can read from the books, I Am Discourses, and the various volumes. But then it comes a point you put the book down and say, well, how have I integrated these scientific principles of sound in my personal life? Because know ye by the fruit of the labor. I can talk it, but am I walking it? And brothers, I'm telling you, you can feel the difference when you integrate your I am into your personal life. Miracles start popping off out of nowhere. And I can attest to that. And the cultivation of sexual energy is the primary reason that porn is so proliferant on the planet, because through porn and abuse of the first chakra, you will never achieve success spiritually, financially, emotionally, anywhere, because that is the boiler room to manifest. That's why Mike Tyson gives reverence when he was in training camp. He wasn't around any women because he was just focused on his purpose. That's why in Islam, they separate the men from the women, because the distraction factor. That is why it's crucial that you cultivate your sexual energy. Not so much the women, because they reflect our brothers' cultivation of sexual energy. Women will echo and reflect and amplify. So if you learn how to ride the Kundalini sexual dragon, my brothers and sisters, you will be natural magicians, and the frequency that you will attain, people around you will abide or move out of your way. You can drive like I did from New York to Atlanta saying, I am invisible to all law enforcement. Yes, I am. And with that chant, you will see people getting peeled to the left and the right while you move invisible. You can achieve, but it begins with your I am relationship, and it begins with family, your frequency family or your blood family. I've spoken.
Well, some of the things that you have said are in the book as you move on. But like I said, I was reading a chapter a time. Oh, let me address this. Why in the world would you think I'm expressing to anybody that we are victims? Nonetheless, we'll move ahead from that. Of course, we are not victims, but we are not blameless. Some of the things that you said, Uncle Hank, is said in the book in the chapters that move along. We are nobody's victims. Black people are nobody's victims, but there is not one race on the planet Earth that would not be ashamed of a great deal of their history. We are put in this situation to show the world who we are, even though we are already showing the world who we are. The United States of America economically would have collapsed if it wasn't for the drug trade that they put inside the Black community. And as a matter of fact, the United States would have not even been in existence if it wasn't for the Black slaves that they finally allowed into the Civil War that turned the tide. We are not victims, nor should we think of victims. And I would really love for you to express that, especially to the females who every time they come and speak, they speak of this bad thing that happened with some Black man. What we're not seeing is that when every single solitary female says that, what they're letting the whole world believe and think is that every single solitary Black man is that none of us are good, that we are the worst men in the world. And this is being done through the media, which is also in the book. Our way out is not a surprise. It can be done. It's just going to be a gargantuan undertaking. And it's going to take many of us. Are we going to use weights to make our body strong? Of course we are. Are we going to use mantra, prayers, decrees, chanting, serving the spiritual master, or humanity? Of course we are. And all of us can do this individually. But it's like this. If I take my finger and I poke you, or I take it and do something like that in your face, it'll have some effect. But if I take my hand like this, which means all of us, and punch you in the face, chances are I'll knock you out. This is what we got to do in our situation. We must unite. We must understand that they are coming after us 100%. We must understand that if we don't unite, and they got a major program to keep us disunited, if we don't unite, we are done. There was something that happened in the Black community around the time of Dutch Schultz. He was coming and taking over everything. He couldn't take over everybody, and he was afraid of some people, right? Most of the people that was in Harlem didn't want to pay. Wasn't Casper Weinstein, it was the brother coming up behind him, Bugsy. That wasn't Bugsy C. I'm sorry, that's an Italian. They did a movie on him. Anyway, he told everybody, look, y'all pay me, I'll protect y'all from against Schultz. They said, no, we can do our own thing. But Schultz was so afraid of him that he paid him so that he wouldn't stop him from taking out all the other hustlers. This is what we're experiencing right here in the Black community at large. We have to unite. It's not an option anymore for us. And if we can't unite, then we got to get with those who will unite with us and build factions like the Nation of Islam. But it has to be done in secret. Are they going to take it down like they took down the Nation of Islam? And like Marcus Garvey, like everything that we've seen go before us, we have to take the knowledge of all the leaders that have gone before us, develop ourselves to be like them on the lowest level, train the person that's below us to take our position. That's real leadership. We train everybody down the line, like they do in the military, to take the next position above them if a leader is killed. But what must be there is the philosophy, the foundation, the script of where we're going. We're going to God consciousness as a nation of people, as a race of people, if we're going to save ourselves. We have to do it as a group.
Someone has a comment, and they're thinking that, you know, money's not going to be a necessity. So the Great Blackness says, you are comparing us to a Jewish people and we are gods. We shouldn't be thinking about physical things like money anymore. And I'm not really sure if that comment is in reference to what's happening to the United States dollar, or is it more connected to we need to invest in cryptocurrency, or is it more like we just need to invest in ourselves spiritually? So I just wanted to know if you had any comments about that.
Sure. I mean, to say that we do not need money to progress, maybe whoever's making that statement means something else. Mm-hmm. But if what you said or what you wrote, you really believe, get rid of all your money right now and see how far you get. Let's see if the grocer in the corner store says, you know, you're black, you don't need money. Let's see if the landlord says, you're black, you don't need money. Let's see if the bank says, you're black, you don't need money. Let's not be ridiculous. If you mean something else, say that. But if you think we don't need money in this world right now, it's like saying we don't need air. Of course we need money. We should not make our life the where and withal of acquiring money, but it should not be left out any more than our spiritual practice should be left out. Our physical health, which is diet and exercise, should be left out. We need these things. You need money to move ahead. Now, what is money, right? In America, money is only gold and silver. We're using paper. This we can get a lot of. We can get a lot of this paper to begin building. You have to, look, people that's going to come and build with you, they got to eat, right? They got to have a place to sleep. They got to have a format of knowledge that's going to build them. You do that in a system, in an organization. You move with power because you organize and you get together. I was down here in Atlanta. One of the things that I found that was holding me back is I don't have crew like I have in New York. Once my crew comes in, we talk and we getting together. It's like, okay, boom, we understand what we got to do. Let's move on it now. Crew helps everything, but I'm just talking about like a crew that the guys has, like I would have. That's just individual. I'm talking about us getting together as a nation of people. And if we don't, we're done, y'all. We're just done. And if you can't figure that out, then use all your time to try to figure it out, because that's the end of us.
Okay, I'm going to interject a message about money in the form of a video that I've played before.
A long time ago, there was a woman who lived in a small house with her husband and 2 children. One day, she saw that 3 monks were sitting in front of her house. She did not recognize them. The woman came out of her house and she said, "I don't think I know you, but you must be hungry. Please come in and have something to eat." The 3 monks replied, "Yes, we are hungry, but we have a rule that we do not go into a house together." The woman was a little surprised to hear that. She asked them to explain, "Why don't you go into a house together?" One of the monks explained. He said, pointing to one of his fellow monks, "His name is Wealth," and said, pointing to another one, "He's Success, and I am Love. We don't go to any house together. Now go inside and discuss with your family which one of us you want in your home." The woman went in and told her husband what was said by the monk. Her husband was overjoyed listening to her. "How nice," he said. "If that is the case, then let us invite Wealth. Let him come and fill our home with wealth," he said happily. But his wife disagreed. She said, "My dear, why don't we invite Success? If Success comes in our house, then money will also come automatically, because if you get Success, you will get money too. But the husband wanted money in their home. The wife wanted success. Then their 10-year-old daughter said, "Mom and Dad, why don't you invite love into our house? Because if love comes to our house, then we all will have love and affection for each other, and we will live together with love." The husband and wife liked the suggestion of their daughter. The woman came out and asked the 3 monks, "Which one of you is Love? Please come in and be our guest." Love got up and started walking toward the house. As soon as Love got up and started going inside, Success also got up and started following Love. As soon as Success got up and started following Love, Wealth also got up and started following Success. The lady asked Wealth and Success in surprise, "I only invited Love. Then why are you coming in?" The 3 monks replied together, "If you had invited Wealth and Success, the other 2 of us would have stayed out. But since you invited Love, we have to follow him. Wherever he goes, we go with him. Because wherever there is love, there is also success and wealth." There is a very deep message hidden in this story. If that woman had greedily invited money or success to her house, then she would have been deprived of the other 2. But the husband and wife put aside greed and invited love to their home, and behind love also came success and wealth. This shows that when we do something with pleasure, we get success, and ultimately we get wealth too. But if we will run after money, we will not get success or money. Never do any work by getting greedy and trying to chase money. Instead, chase your passion, and success and wealth will follow.
Yeah, that's good. That's exactly what we talked about earlier today in the class. The stuff we do before we come on, the prayers, the creeds, chanting, meditation. I was saying to the group, this is a powerful program. Not only do we get the spiritual stuff that we start the day off with, which is your love, and we got the monetary thing where everybody's going to be a millionaire. And I asked the class today, I said, do you think that we should, after we do our thing in the morning, do an exercise program like Shanti or something like that? We were talking about this very thing earlier today. You need these pieces. And as you do them, and as you incorporate all these pieces into your reality, and then our reality, what happens is you progress. And with these pieces, like what we're doing now, Hank doing what she's doing, he's doing, Miss Bliss, you're doing what you're doing, I'm doing what I'm doing, other people that Hank has gathered to express the word, they're doing what they're doing. If there's 1,000 spiritual masters working independently for the same thing, they're blessing everyone. But if we all got together in a group, this is different. The light of spirituality, when I say spirituality, I mean a finished item, a Christ-like being, Ram, Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, Muhammad. When you get that one person, that person is enough. But if you get thousands of people working like that at one time, you're going to make a quantum leap in your reality. As far as exactly how to do this thing, I haven't done it before. I'm looking at, you don't believe in yourself. That's the problem. If only you knew that you didn't need money, you would know how rich you really are. As I say, family, I'm just telling you what works for me. Anyway, nonetheless, fact of the matter is we all have money, and a lot of it. And I'm not talking in any hairy-fairy way. I'm not going to speak on it in any detail, but we all have a lot of money, billions and billions and billions of dollars. I'm not talking about anybody's system of attaining wealth or anything like that. I'm talking actual money in your SESTKV account. You want to know about it, send me some information, I'll tell you. The whole deal is, I remember Andrew Tate saying something. He said, I don't read the comments of people. And before today, I never did either. And if they're wrong, because people are hurling insults. They're telling me what I am and what I am not, what they could do, this, that. I don't want to hear that. I'm not going to read the comments. If somebody want to ask a question, ask the question, and I'll deal with that question. But trying to tell me we don't need money right now, isn't that stupid? If your shoes were out, what you going to get it with? Your love? You going to get another pair of shoes with your love? You can get money through your love. You get everything through your love. The summum bonum of the human's existence is to attain the state of love, which is consciousness. That's what we're doing here. All this outside stuff and all this I don't even know, nonsense in the what do you call that, the chat? Get a book. Start studying reality. Start developing yourself. Stop being stupid. There's a guy on TV. He said, you know, he put her on this woman because he couldn't say it himself, or else he'd be canceled because he's a guy saying this about women. So he put a woman on there to say this. And what she said is, I'm coming to the realization that women, especially black women, are a special kind of stupid. Now, this is how bad things are. We're not trying to, that somebody got to use a woman to tell women something that they should be seeing themselves. We need to just go for what we know. We don't need to have debate on if I kill somebody, is that right or wrong? If I steal from somebody, is that right or wrong? Am I criticizing, condemning, and all that? We don't need somebody to tell us what's right and wrong. We know. We need to do what's right and then move on another level. We need to get our spiritual foundation down pat. We need to get our physical reality down pat. We need to get our economic reality down pat. And we need to get love with family and friends down pat and build a nation with that. And all the knowledge pertaining to that. This is not something that was not done before. Let's study who did it. You know, when Egypt came up, they were coming up out of the devastation of Atlantis sinking. We need to get the knowledge to build. There is powerful secret knowledge out there that we could get. Even financial secret knowledge that we could get that's available to us. Physical secret knowledge, spiritual secret knowledge. What is the knowledge of keeping our families together and building families that then begins to build communities, which is where our real power is. There is so much that we got to do.
I want to say,
say,
Lalji, we got 20 minutes because Bliss got to break out, and so do I. Share with the audience, I am words of power that has helped you, and you can pass your I am experience to the audience, whether you speak of experience or reading from the book, so that for the next 20 minutes, we will go in trance and create our future.
Okay. One of the things I like to talk about, all right, who I like to talk to, because we never, these people are diminished on every level. They're the propaganda is directed to hate these people, but the drug trade was set up to get exactly these people. And these are the people I want to talk to most of all. They're hustlers in our community. They are diabolical. They'll do anything to get their money. And that's why the drug trade was set up, to get these people, snatch them out of the community before they wake up and know who they are. These are the Malcolm X's, right? Malcolm X was a hustler. We all know that. They made a movie about it, plus the book was all in the book. What do we do with what we got in our community? We develop them. We begin developing them. Here's the thing. I'm out there hustling, but I was having spiritual experiences so frequently, I was afraid to go to sleep at night, right? In fact, I didn't go to sleep. I fell asleep, but I was having these experiences. Now, I'm saying this to piggyback or veggie on what you're saying, Hank. So I'm having these experiences. Why am I having these experiences? I don't know. I'm born in a poor family and we're struggling and I'm going to get mine. That's what I'm thinking. But I'm still having these experiences, these spiritual experiences. All right. So the police come after me. I leave the country. I meet with a guru. I live with a guru. Change my whole life. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm changing. I'm not in that light, but not that that light is bad. I'm not in that light of my hustling reality, but I'm changing. I'm an individual that can change things. How do I know that? Well, the police are after you. They tell you that. You know, they want you gone, not because of some drugs that they made illegal, but because they want you out of the picture while they run their game on you, or they use you to destroy your own people with the drug that you sell, right? All right, boom. So as you start to understand and grow into your God self and start having tiny little experiences that, you know, inner experiences that make you realize who you are, boom. And you're living with a master, boom. Now you're getting powerful experiences. You get to know that you and God are one, all right? Then you take entheogens. That opens you up on a whole nother level, but you're still going for the Christ conscious state, the God conscious state. You're still going for that. Now, these entheogens, the mushrooms, the grandma, the two of the grandpas, ayahuasca and San Pedro, you're taking these experiences and you're going into real consciousness. You're going into the drop. Finally realize it's the ocean, but the theogens don't solidify you in that state. You come out of it, but they do give you inspiration, and they do open your mind up to things that you haven't thought, or you haven't given the right power to that thought. Something comes along, you're experiencing, and you're studying, and you're reading, and you're getting stuff. You understand it intellectually when you incorporate the entheogens, ayahuasca, bufo, San Pedro. Then you experience it directly. You experience it directly. The drop becoming the ocean is one of the experiences I had with the entheogens, right? I realized myself as God. It was only God. In fact, it was only love, right? My desire is to be established in that state. The entheogens can't establish you there, but it will give you the inspiration and the motivations to go for whatever you need to do. Because although it's mantra, prayer, decrees, meditation, only one of these things can take you. You don't need all of them, only one. But whether it's mantra, chanting, meditation, service to the guru, one alone can get you there. If you incorporate all of these things, it will get you there faster, purifying you on all levels. What we need to understand is incorporate all of this. There's knowledge out there of the most powerful, empowering diet that you could incorporate. Best time to go to sleep, best many hours to sleep. All this, everything that we need to build ourselves to be godlike is out there. We need to seek it, move on it, stay with it. We got a program right here, right now. Everybody in the top, Sister Corinne, Brother Xavier, Brother Patrick, they're moving on the money that we're learning about. It's a matter of weeks before months before they're millionaires. Months. When that money comes in, it's going to empower everybody's life. So they started out in a spiritual program and then found out, wow, there's a money aspect to this too. Big money, and we'll have it in months. Everything that we want to do, we can do through the power of thought and the spoken word. I say, let's get on it. We see it happening all the time. Let's get on it. We got 4 more minutes. Let's get on. Does anybody have any intelligent questions? Even in the chat, you can put that up there. Is there an intelligent question we could answer and go through? Because I'm going to say this. We got all the answers. We're just not moving on them. And we're in such factions and so forth and so on. It's like our foolishness is killing us. Even though we have knowledge, our foolishness is killing us.
Okay, I got to step in. We only have a few minutes, and family, thank you, Lalji, for your message. This is where we're going to focus on I am. And I'm bringing up the videos so that you come out of this program with the eye of the tiger, like a tiger eye focus on your I am, and everything will follow.
Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. Success is your destiny. Yes. Love, wisdom, power. Remember, yes, always who you are. Yes. Yes.
Family, the key here is to have focus on what is forever within your heart. And that's your I am. And I want to thank Miss Bliss for holding space. And Miss Bliss, I put together this video for you last night. I think I sent it to you. And family, I want you to, if you haven't already, align with Journey to Bliss, because I don't know when my channel may be shut down because of this revolutionary message. So I put together this video last night so that y'all can subscribe to Journey to Bliss.
Greetings, family. I would like for everyone who is subscribed to the channel Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids to take the time to subscribe to our sister twin station, Journey to Bliss. Journey, the number 2, Bliss, YouTube channel. We appreciate all of your support. We thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Have a magical, prosperous day. God bless.
Okay, everybody. Success is your destiny. Remember, everybody, you can be wherever you want to be. Remember always.
And I had to harness. I had a beautiful visitation with mother and child last night, and we had to tap into the beauty of the heart of a child who was speaking wisdom in a multitude of ways. I want to thank you, Brother Lalji, for you sharing part of your book with us today. I want to thank you for Corinne, Patrick. I am Xavier Om Ra. I want to thank you for holding space. And everyone who's in the listening audience, I want to thank you for taking the time on a holiday weekend to listen to Steel Sharpening Steel, because that's the spirit of Ubuntu. We sharpen, we elevate, and we lovingly make sure that we're keeping our eyes on our I am. So without further ado, we're going to close out. Thank you, Miss Bliss, for taking sacrifice for your busy weekend outside the city. And we will see everyone on Crystal Healing Tuesday. And bring your dreams on Tuesday. However, there is a show happening. I believe it's tomorrow. Bliss, is it tomorrow? Doing a show?
Yes, tomorrow. Diane Farr, Brother Kyle,
yeah,
Yania.
Yania, right. And that show is going to be very controversial, family. It's speaking about integration, psychedelic integration, because there's no sense in taking psychedelics if you're not integrating. And we're going to get into the part that Lalji loves as a Scorpio. They like going into the dark side of the force, but you better go into the dark side of the force, because it's through the darkness that you come into your light. So, light, thank you for being light keeper, dark keeper, because the most famous Carl Jung said, until you deal with the dark side of your nature, you will never come into Christ. You will never be enlightened, because it's through the darkness of your unacknowledged issues that will catapult you to success. And that's the importance of Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Because we are, in a sense, like speaking. We're like fallen angels that have to lift ourselves by our bootstraps in the spirit of Ubuntu. We're not fallen angels. We're like fallen angels throughout the world and the world remembers when we were the gods ruling. So we got to forgive them. Can't be focused. Yeah, we're going to have casualties as in any challenging situation on a chessboard of life, but you can't be fixated on the casualties. You got to fixate on the objective, self-mastery, going into trance, knowing how to go into deep trance to transform your world. We can bitch as much as we want in the outer beta brainwave state, but until we know how to go into trance and make a holographic transformation, we'll just become bitter as time pass on. So again, I want to thank you, Brother Lalji, Patrick, Miss Bliss, Corinne, I am Xavier, Omra, and you, the listening audience. Thank you for this time now and in the future, because this was a very colorful meeting on Sunday. And I like a little spice. I hope you're hot under the neck, Lalji. I did that intentionally. He's gone in trance. No mind, brother. No mind. Yeah. You know what I do got to do sometimes. We got to stir it up. You got to stir up stuff. So sometimes I got to be the devil's advocate. I mean, look at my shirt. You know, I got to, create questions and, pop different acoustical moves and see what responses of everyone who's in the chat. And thank you for your comments. Good question. They want to know what your contact information is, Lalji. And here it is, family. Real quick. Shemshu said, me too, Scorpio, Pisces, Moon. How do you buy what?
Sorry. The book. Someone wants to know. Lalji's in the process of getting the book available for you guys to purchase.
Yeah, Lalji, you gotta get that book done and ready for purchase within 30 days. I'll give you 30 days, brother. You want to get gangster? I'm going to get gangster and say, we want the book within 30 days. This is not a conversation.
The publisher told me it takes 6 weeks. He said it was going to take 6 weeks. So I'm sending it out the beginning of June. I should get in the middle of July.
He's already asking for an extension.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe I could get a few books and I'll be sending
you're teasing the audience, Lalji. You read a little bit and then you tell them you got to wait 2 months. You're teasing them, brother.
Well, if you would like, I could read 1 chapter a week if you would like.
No, it's with we. It's not about you. It's about Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Lalji, say the word Ubuntu. Ubuntu.
Oh, me? Ubuntu.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's not personality. It's a movement, a nuke poo nuke movement of Ubuntu. That's why Bliss can hold space. All of us can hold space. It's thinking of personalities is obsolete. We're in the age of Aquarius now. It's me, we, Ubuntu. There's no one leader. There is no leaders no more. It's our hearts. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out.